If you want to celebrate small wins, push past limits, and make real progress even with a busy life, stay tuned. I'm just a software engineer chasing my calisthenics PRs, mixing mobility and strength, and hitting my first ever fitness event, getting a taste for that fitness influencer lifestyle, my opinions of it, and showing what it's really like and what it takes to turn a passion into progress. These past couple of weeks I have felt so strong it feels like I've been walking on air. For the past 6 months, my personal best in weighted pull-ups had been 22.5 kilograms, but today it felt like it just flew up. It didn't feel as challenging as it previously had done, and I managed to complete 5 reps of these 22.5 kilograms. So it was time to try my personal best again. I added a tiny little plate of 1.25 kilograms, and I got it. So yeah, my new PR is now 23.75 kilograms. Watch out, because 25 is coming soon. A little background for you. I did want to get the 25 kilograms for the end of 2025. This training session was shot in December 2025. Not sure when it's going to go out, but I was very proud of myself that I almost got there. So I'm still on track with all the strength stuff. The clips you're seeing at the moment are another PR. You are currently watching the second set out of 3 sets of 2 pull-ups in a row at 18.75 kilograms. Not only is that a PR in itself of 2 pull-ups in a row, but the fact that I did 3 sets of them, I'm just super happy with myself. I'm so glad I got it on camera. Okay, I mean 2 full sets because I don't count that last one. These sessions where we're pushing boundaries and breaking our personal records are very rare, so we really have to celebrate these small wins.
Almost 3 sets, 2.
It brings a sense of fulfillment and happiness while reinforcing that all of our hard work and patience and consistency are truly paying off. When I feel strong, I like to push the boundaries not only in my pull exercises but also in my push exercises. 7.5 kilograms is the heaviest that I've gone on my ring dips, and it's important to note that the reps at my end range won't always be clean, but that's where real strength is built. It might look a little bit messy, but this approach has been the fastest way I've seen myself get stronger before, so I'm showing you the raw, imperfect reps that actually drive progress. Again, it doesn't mean that I don't practice ring dips with less weight and check my form and do more reps. This is just a random training day where I felt very strong and I wanted to push myself in weight. Mixing higher rep, lighter days with low rep, heavier strength days is important because it builds that solid technique and muscle while still pushing maximal strength, even if the heavy reps get a little bit messy. The only reason I'm really explaining this and honing in is because inevitably when you put content like this online and it's not super squeaky clean, there's always someone ignorant who feels entitled to say that you're doing your training in the wrong way. No one knows our body better than us. Here is a clip where I have much lighter weight, where I'm focusing on form, and I noticed from the video that my left shoulder is going deeper than my right shoulder. It's not as noticeable here while the weight is lighter, but if I show you this clip again, you can see it more clearly. I want to try and correct this because asymmetry is really bad and inevitably can lead to injury. But I'm very glad that I caught this, and I only caught this because I managed to look back at old footage and videos. This is why it's so important to video yourself or have someone who can tell you and watch your form. This is the good stuff right here. This is chicken soup that I've made with all the leftovers of the roast chicken with potato, spinach and onions, and this golden liquid is incredible in the cold weather. All the good stuff in here, very flavoursome.
Oh, that's so good!
That's good.
This was a shorter session where I focused on mobility and endurance on the bar, doing different exercises, hanging with individual arms and changing grips. I call these sessions my monkey sessions, where I focus more on functional training and fun. And just like I have my fun training sessions, I also have sessions where I focus more on the boring exercises, but the necessary ones. I started doing these forearm wrist curls when I got tennis elbow a year ago, and they have been a life changer. I do these for about 5-10 minutes every session I have as part of my warm-up, and I also do these standing bicep curls but with my fist facing the floor to strengthen the tendon again. I use a light weight, 2 kilograms tends to be enough. They're a little bit boring. I don't tend to film this warm-up section of my training. The routine doesn't differ at all. It's always the same, and I always begin with these, especially before doing my weighted dips and pull-ups. You don't need to use the box at the gym if it's not available. I also do these at home. You may have seen in previous clips where I sit by a table and hang my wrist at the edge to do these exercises. Okay, now on to the more interesting part of the workout. Here I am doing 25 kilogram negative weighted pull-ups. So you're seeing me attach the weight belt, have a little crisis where I think to myself, what am I doing with my life? While I gradually maneuver myself over the bar and allow myself to hang above the bar. So I hold this I'm aiming for 5 seconds. Sometimes I don't quite get it. Eventually I do have to drop, but in a slow, controlled descent. And sometimes if I'm up to it, I hang in this moment as well. This is just to familiarize myself with the weight and also build up some endurance, even if I'm only doing the eccentric part of the movement. I do 8 reps of these slow descended 25 kilogram negative pull-ups. I've been doing these for a while, but I've made them consecutively harder by adding that hold above the bar that you saw and also descending even slower in the negative movement. Of course, I only film my last few reps, which are the worst, and considering I think this was the 8th rep of this negative 25 that I did, still managed to respect that time above the bar. And I've even found a really nice hack to wait in between my sets during my resting time. I sit on the little dip bar, which means I don't have to remove this big weight from my weight belt constantly. I can just sit there and relax a little bit and watch the world go by. Until, of course, someone needs to use the dip bars, and then it's a scramble to get off when you forget you've got this weight attached to you. I try and run away, but I'm caught up. Embarrassing. I finished the session with a few of these chicken wing muscle ups. I do 2 in a row, but not many sets because I know this is not the correct way of doing them and I don't want to get injured for doing these reps asymmetrically and using my shoulder to push above the bar. I don't do many of these. I go back to doing some high pulls, which I didn't film. But you know what these look like. Here is an example of me doing them in another session, and they ensure I get that explosivity that I need to get the muscle up in the correct form one day. Later that day, I went to an Adidas event and honestly felt spoiled. Not only was there food, but I also got gifted around £100 worth of Adidas clothing, sports bras, shorts, the lot, which made me feel like a real fitness influencer for a moment. I even got to bring a friend and try a red light yoga session, basically yoga on a mat with red lights underneath, which are known to support skin health and help prevent wrinkles. It's not something I usually do, but I loved it and it gave me a little glimpse of what life might be like as an actual fitness influencer. I won't lie, I know it's not the most aspirational thing to aspire to, but I genuinely love the lifestyle and I could see why all of Gen Z want to be one. The market is saturated because it's genuinely a great lifestyle. Getting financially compensated to share your gym progress, earning money and freebies for doing something you love, and having people actually care about your gains and PRs is incredibly satisfying. It may not always be respected because it's seen as an easier job than a 9-to-5, and in some ways it is. That's why so many people want to do it. But there is real work behind the scenes as well. I do this on top of my job as a software engineer. And I know I love editing my YouTube videos and growing my channel because I would do this even if my channel wasn't monetized. With all this being said, honestly, it means the world that any of you guys care or watch my videos, especially if you get to the end of my videos. And I would love to know more about your opinions on this. What do you honestly think about more and more people wanting to be not just fitness influencers, but content creators in general? I can see the negatives, but now that I've got a small slice of this world, I genuinely see the appeal too. What do you think?